Whatever that was. Okay. Welcome to the Stuck Movie Watching Vlogs. This is the segment where I read off a list of movies that I read in the previous month, and I quickly review these little movies for you to determine whether or not you want to see them. Why am I waving my hand so wildly? Okay. So I almost, I said before that I was going to bring back this segment and get back on track. Now, I almost let the month of June pass by without doing this segment for the month of May. So this is what this video is going to be about. It's going to be May. And hopefully I don't procrastinate and make you wait for June. As if you're going to see the fucking video. Anyway, let's just get right to it. The first movie I watched was called The Knights of Badassdom. It's a horror comedy, and God, it's not hard to explain. Basically, it's about those role players. They go through that. What do they call it? They call it LARPing, where they go through live action role playing. They dress up like knights, and they get the text or something. They dress up like knights, and they act all silly. Anyway, they somehow this group of friends somehow unleashes a succubus, and it starts killing a bunch of people, and it's just very weird. Okay, it's a horror comedy. It's very uneven. It's okay. I love the gore effects. The gore effects are incredible. The only reason why I watched it was because it has Peter Dinklage, who of course is awesome in Game of Thrones and X-Men Days of Future Past, and it has Summer Glau, who I think is incredibly adorable, and she played River in Serenity, and she was the Terminator in Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles. Anyway, very uneven film. I'll give it 2.5 out of 5. The second film I saw was actually a foreign film from 1997 called Funny Games. It's an Austrian movie, and it's about a family that goes on a little mini vacation at some beach house or lake house actually, and these mysterious young kids, or not kids but young adults, they terrorize them. It's a home invasion movie. They play mind games, very sick sadistic mind games with them. The movie I actually liked it. It was later remade here in the US, and I'll get to that in a minute, because that's gonna be on here too. But the original was okay. I kind of dug it. It's got some good stylish filmmaking. It's got some good acting. It's pretty twisted. So I thought it was alright. But it's not something I would necessarily want to see again. I give it a 3.5 just to be nice, I guess. The next movie I saw is called Mysterious Skin. This is kind of I don't know if it's a cult classic, but it's kind of like an indie hit. It has Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I'm trying to think of who else is in it. I know Mary Lynn Weisskopf from 24 is in it. It wasn't my cup of tea. I don't even know how to explain it. It deals a lot with just homosexuality, sexual abuse, people finding themselves, and it was okay, very disturbing at times. The acting is really good. The structure of the film is it's kind of creative, but it really wasn't for me. I don't know, I just couldn't really get into it. So I do give it a 3 out of 5, though. I respect it. It's a good indie film. It's very raw, and yeah, there you go. The next movie I saw was The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Right? Yeah, okay, because I saw The Amazing Spider-Man 2. The one film to kick off the summer blockbuster season. Yay. I had to kind of force myself to go see it. I wasn't very anxious to see it. I'm not a big fan of the previous film. I actually did review this film. It's a long spoiler review, so it's really long. But in a nutshell, this one was an entertaining one. It was an entertaining film, but it really wasn't. It's not very smart. It's so heavily flawed. It really just. I'm really over Spider-Man on the big screen. I really am. I'm not a fan of this new series. I still give it a 3 out of 5, and that's that. The next movie I saw was Son of Batman. This, of course, is a DC animated straight to DVD release. Well, Blu-ray. I got the Blu-ray. I bought it actually. It was a blind buy because I love Batman. And this deals with Batman obviously having a son with what the hell's her name? Talia al Ghul. And Damian, the son, he is out for revenge. He's out to kill Deathstroke. I dug it. I really did enjoy this film. I know a lot of people are not a big fan of it. They don't like the character of Damian. I did like this little bastard. He's an a-hole, but it works for the film. I really was entertained by it. I love the animation. I all around really liked the storytelling. I wish it could have been longer, and I hope they make more. I hope they make a sequel. I hope they make further adventures with Damian, and yeah, I'll give it a 4. Okay, so remember I was talking about Funny Games, the original foreign film. Now let's talk about the remake. Actually, let's not too much anyway. I saw the remake. These movies were in my Netflix queue for the longest time. Funny Games, the foreign film, was I don't know if it still is, was on Watch Instantly for Netflix, and I rented Funny Games. I just wanted to see how they compared. The remake, by the way, stars Tim Roth and Naomi Watts. Yeah, the comparison is insane because it literally is a shot-for-shot remake, and I hate those kind of remakes. I really do. Except for Quarantine. I like Quarantine, but when I saw Quarantine, I didn't know it was a shot-for-shot remake. Anyway, it's just a waste of time. It felt like a waste of time because I had just watched the original a few days ago, and I don't know why I even continued watching it. I should have turned it off as soon as I knew it was a shot-for-shot remake. If I hadn't seen the original film, I might have liked it, but because I saw the original film, didn't care for it, so I'll give it a 2. Alright, then I saw Neighbors. Saw it in theaters with some friends, and I'm glad I did. I had a great time. I also reviewed that movie. I am starting to, be more consistent with reviews now. I just want to try to stay consistent, stay in the community, and represent reader film as best as I can. But anyway, that's a different story. Neighbors, check out my review. I'm actually kind of proud of that review. I think I did a pretty good job on that. But I thought it was a very funny movie. Rose Byrne was awesome in that movie. I don't think I gave her enough praises in my review, but she's so sly and so cool. I definitely dug her in Neighbors, so I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Alright, I saw a movie that it came out straight to home video, straight to DVD, and you can really tell, despite its really nice cast, it's got Willem Dafoe, Matt Dillon, Tom Berenger. It's called Bad Country, or it's originally called Risky Bay. It couldn't be more standard. It is a standard cops and robbers type of movie. Willem Dafoe's a cop. He gets an assassin. He arrests an assassin played by Matt Dillon, and he gets him to be like his informant to take down this drug syndicate in Louisiana, I think it was. I actually did a written review. Yeah, I can write, kind of, on read a film. I don't know why. I was just bored one day, and I chose to talk about a movie that I didn't like. I really did not like the movie. It's incredibly dull, very. I don't want to say low budget. It is low budget. It's in the vein of the Boondock Saints. It's from the same producer and the director of it, who passed away. He worked on the Boondocks movies as well. So the Boondock Saints. Just didn't like it, so I'm gonna move on. I'll give it a 1.5. Okay, so I saw Godzilla, you know, the remake, the Gareth Edwards remake, and I enjoyed it. I reviewed that one. Bryan Cranston was great, and everybody else was just very standard. But I really enjoyed the movie. I loved the style of it. I loved how they kept teasing Godzilla. I know some people didn't like that. They wanted to see Godzilla throughout the entire movie, but I was happy with the way it was filmed, the way it was structured. I really dug it, so I'll give it a 4 out of 5. So I checked out the movie Homefront. That's the one with Jason Statham, where his daughter beats up a bully, and the bully's family comes after him. Comes after Jason Statham. Jason Statham is an undercover cop or whatever the hell. James Franco is a meth dealer. The story is it's incredibly standard. It's typical action, storytelling. But I liked the movie. I liked it. I thought it was a good, solid action picture. It wasn't nothing to, jump up for joy about. But I did like the movie. I thought Jason Statham actually did a really good job in terms of acting, as far as, he can go with an action movie like this. He really sold it as a father, He really played a good father. James Franco was ridiculous. He was over the top and whatever. Alright, so, as you know, in May, X-Men Days of Future Past came out, and to prepare for it, I wanted to watch the X-Men movies. So, I saw the first X-Men movie on the 18th, and it's been a while. It had been a while since I saw it, and watching it again, I really enjoy it. It's a really smart, very rather sophisticated comic book movie, and this is coming from a time when comic book movies were still trying to be established. Producers and directors were still trying to figure out what type of medium this was going to be. And X-Men was obviously a very early film in that subgenre, and it's a really good film. It stands out. It holds up well. The only thing underwhelming about the movie is the action. There's hardly any action. It sets up the story, but it does a really good job of doing so. I give it a 4. I've always given it a 4. It's a good film. The next, actually not the next day, but a couple of days later, X2. X2 is one of my all-time favorite comic book movies, and it still is. It was, and it still is. Everything about that movie is just so skillfully made. Bryan Singer he knows how to make a good film, and that's gotta be one of his best. I really love X2, or X-Men 2. X2, X-Men United, I don't call it that, I call it X2. It's a 5. I really highly adore that film. So then, the next day we come to X-Men, The Last Stand. I know a lot of people hate this movie. I get it. I certainly understand why. To me, the movie has always just been rushed. It's very short. It's too short for its own good. And it really rushes to complete the story that they wanted to tell. It's underwhelming, and it's messy. But at the same time, I do like the movie. I find it entertaining. As a follow-up to the great X2, no, it's not very good. But as a standalone, well, no, it doesn't even work as a standalone movie, but as a movie, as a sequel, whatever, I did enjoy it to a certain degree. I give it a 3 out of 5. The next movie I actually want to show, if you're from the 80s, if you're aware of great cult classics, you should know about The Monster Squad from 1987. This is definitely something that I'm very nostalgic towards. This is from my childhood. It's been known as kind of like a Goonies ripoff, but it's a good ripoff. It's basically about some kids that have a monster club. They talking about monsters, and one day they have to fight monsters. They have to fight Dracula, the Mummy, the Wolfman, the creature from the Blue Lagoon, and Frankenstein happens to be the ally. Great 80s movie, a whole lot of fun, very cheesy. It's a good balance of decent filmmaking and 80s cheese. It's got a lot of cringe-worthy moments here and there. That's got some really good humor. Wolfman's got nods. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. And I really enjoy this movie, though it hasn't aged gracefully. It's still just a very fun movie. So if you youngsters out there, if you haven't seen the Monster Squad, definitely look it up. You're in for a real treat. And I give it a 4 out of 5. So the next day I watched X-Men First Class. Yes, that's right. I completely skipped X-Men Origins. I just did not want to see it. I don't even hate that movie. I just did not want to see it. It's not even part of the canon anymore. It really doesn't matter. It's a very irrelevant movie, so I skipped it. I went straight to X-Men First Class, and I loved that movie when it came out, and I still love it because it's just such a really great little movie. It's filled with some fantastic action. Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy are so great. And yeah, it's a great setup for Days of Future Past. So I give it a 4.5 out of 5 still. Okay, so the next movie I saw, make sure I didn't skip anything. The next movie I saw came out from this year, Pompeii. Now, this movie was bashed by critics. It was a flop. And I'm definitely not here to defend it because I didn't hate the movie. I actually was entertained by it, but it's like junk food, you know. It's so bad for you, but you just can't stop eating it. And that's what this movie is. It's got some really bad effects. It's got some good effects. The performances are all lousy, even if it has great actors. Kiefer Sutherland, my god, wow. Kit Harington from Game of Thrones, he kicks ass. He's badass. He definitely shows that he can handle action well, but he's not very good at carrying the story. Adewale Akanue Akaje, I love saying that guy's name because I'm the only one who knows how to say it, but he played the slave who was Milo's friend. He was good. The only good character in the movie. Either way, the movie, Paul W.S. Anderson, he's a hack. We all know this. But in comparison to some of his other crap fests, Pompeii is actually really good. But as a film alone, it's not that good. I give it a 2.5. Alright, so then I saw The Wolverine. I had actually got that on Blu-ray like around Christmas time, and I saw the movie. I just went blank there for a second. I saw the movie in theaters and I really enjoyed it. But I was very anxious to see the extended cut, the unrated cut, and I gotta say I did appreciate the blood and the extra gore, but it's not really that big of a deal. It really doesn't change the movie. I like the movie. I even actually like the final act, even though it's really kind of cheesy. But yeah, I mean, I do enjoy the movie, regardless of its extra gore or what have you. I give it 4 out of 5. Hugh Jackman is just a great Wolverine. That's all there is to it. The next movie I saw was The Departed. I recently bought it on Blu-ray. I had it on HD DVD. That's embarrassing, right? I found it on Blu-ray. It actually comes in a steelbook. It's a generic steelbook. It's not special or nothing like that. But still, $8. What the hell for one of my all-time favorite movies. And by saying that, you already know that I would give it a 5 out of 5. But rewatching that movie, it always feels so good to watch that movie. Well, who the hell are you? I'm the guy that does his other job. You must be the other guy. Mark Wahlberg. So then we come to finally X-Men Days of Future Past. I am such a schmuck because I still have not reviewed this movie, and it's one of my favorite movies of the year. Plot holes, continuity issues, not following the X-Men canon. I get it. I know it's there, but I absolutely loved this movie. I was just on the edge of my seat half the time. So I would give it a 5 out of 5. The flaws do not bother me. I love it. And I'll probably review it when it comes on Blu-ray. Okay, we are almost done. We next come to Ghostbusters, the original, 1984. I found it on Blu-ray for like $7, and I was like, yeah, screw it. I know that they got another Blu-ray coming out. It's gonna probably be better, but $7. I was like, hell yeah. I actually wanted to watch the movie, so I got it. And I gotta say that I'm glad, because the DVD I have of it is old and it looks like crap. The Blu-ray is a whole lot better. And either way, it doesn't matter how you watch the movie. It's a classic. It is a comedic masterpiece. I love Ghostbusters. I think almost everybody who is breathing and has a pulse would love Ghostbusters. So it's a 5 out of 5. We can move on now. The next movie I saw was Behind Enemy Lines. This was around Memorial Day. It actually was Memorial Day. I just felt like watching it. I didn't want to watch Saving Private Ryan because I had recently watched it last month, I think. So what's Behind Enemy Lines, by the way, is the one with Gene Hackman and Owen Wilson. I love Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman is the man. This is recording, right? Yeah, okay, it's recording. I thought for a second this wasn't recording. It's a solid action picture. It's actually very cheesy and very hokey, but I like it. I do like it. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. The next movie I saw was a documentary. It actually took me a couple of days because I started it late one night and I had to finish it the next day. Indie Game, the movie. This is a documentary about developers who make indie video games. Really, really interesting. I mean, I'm a gamer, so I find stuff like this fascinating. But what I really liked was it was very dramatic. It actually shows the toll that these indie gamers go through, the toll that they take on. What am I trying to say? Some of them go through hell to develop these little indie games. There's this one guy who thought about killing himself because he couldn't complete the game. He wasn't satisfied with the game that he was developing. It's really quite sad, but it's a really awesome and excellent documentary. I recommend it for everybody because even if you're not a gamer, it works on a dramatic level. I give it a 4 out of 5. Three more. The next movie, Ted. I felt like watching Ted. Actually, A Million Ways to Die in the West came out in theaters, and I was like, I want to watch Ted. I love that comedy, and I've only seen it once. Now I've seen it twice. I ended up watching the rated version, the theatrical version. I don't know why. It was there. I just clicked on it, and I was okay with that because I hadn't seen the theatrical version. I really couldn't tell you what's different about it, but one thing's for sure, the movie is still hilarious. 5 out of 5. I love Ted. But I can't say the same for the next movie, A Million Ways to Die in the West. I did review this one, so you can check that out if you wish. It is a 2.5 out of 5. It just was not funny, and that rating I give it is very high. It's higher than it deserves. But I have a soft spot for Seth MacFarlane. There were parts of the movie that I did enjoy. I just overall didn't like it as a comedy. The last movie, finally, we come to the last movie, Maleficent. Maleficent is one of those movies that is being debated on. There's a love it and hate it vibe going on with that movie. I don't love it. I think it's like it or hate it. I liked it. I liked it a lot because I really just got caught up in the fantasy element of it. I know the storytelling isn't as strong as it should be, but then again, it's a Disney movie. Disney rarely takes chances with their fantasy movies. For what I got, I did enjoy the movie. I thought Jolie was incredible. The special effects were really nice. Some of them were not. And I didn't mind the liberties that the story took. So, you can check out my review for more. I'll give it a 3.5. I was entertained by Maleficent. Especially after watching, the other one. What's going on with this thing? It's weird. Okay, never mind. So that makes a total of 25 movies in the month of May. Not too bad, right? So, as always, I encourage you to leave me comments if you want to ask me questions on a particular film. Have you seen, are there films in here that you haven't seen that maybe I sparked your interest with? Let me know. We'll have a little conversation down below. I don't really get too many comments on these videos because people just don't watch them. I get it. But if you did watch it, leave me a comment, say something, and I will see you guys soon, hopefully, when I do the month of June. It's shaping out to be a pretty interesting month. So, bye for now. Peace. Watch it, I love you.